Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. My name is Harshmeet Singh and this is episode number 5 of the Prelims 2022 Hack series. The last video that we did, that was episode number 4, we had discussed certain mnemonics related to geography and environment. And we have seen that this is one specific subject where a lot of you have problem remembering a lot of facts. And that is why many of you had been requesting us to come up with another episode to discuss even more mnemonics related to geography and environment. And that is why here we are. Episode number 5 is just a continuation of the mnemonics that we discussed in the last episode, that was 4. So today we are continuing with the geography and environment related mnemonics. Do consider this as part 2 in the ongoing series. Today we will be discussing about the important Ramsar sites, how to remember those. We will also be discussing about certain important rivers and their tributaries, how to remember those, and some other important information related to geography and environment as subjects of the UPSC examination. Let's begin with the first one. Now, a lot of you were demanding that you want to know a good way to remember tributaries of important rivers in India. Now, understand this, we have a lot of rivers in India with a lot of tributaries of their own, and it is just not humanly possible to remember all of them. So what we are trying to do here is, we are trying to pick up a few rivers in every episode. For example, in today's episode, we'll just discuss about a couple of rivers, and maybe in the later episodes, we'll discuss about some more rivers so that it can be a gradual exercise for you also, so that you can try and remember the tributaries of the rivers that you feel are important. Let's start with the Kaveri River. Now, the important tributaries of Kaveri River include Harangi, Hemavati, Lakshman Tirth, Amravati, Bhavani, Kabini, etc. A good phrase to remember this can be Hema, as you can see the photo, Hema Malini. Hema blanks ham. Hema blanks ham. Usually you blank a gun by emptying it completely, but let's be non-violent here for a bit. Hema blanks ham. H-E-M-A, Hema here stands for Hemavati River. And then after that, each and every letter that is written on the screen, that is blanks ham, is indicating the beginning of a river. B here stands for Bhavani, L here stands for Lakshman Tirth, A here stands for Amravati, N stands for Noel, K here stands for Kabini, S here stands for Shimsha. Then we have H-A-M, the next H here stands for Harangi, A here stands for Arkavati, and M here stands for Mani Mudharu. This is a good way to remember if you want to remember the tributaries of the Kaveri River. I discussed in the last episode also, it has to be your choice entirely. Which mnemonics do you want to remember and which mnemonics do you want to just let it pass? It is not possible to remember all of them, and that is why you have to make a smart choice here. The next river that we are taking up here is important tributaries of the river Godavari. Now, the Godavari River does not have a lot of tributaries. The most significant ones include Purna, Manjira, Pranhita, Indravati, Pravara, Sabri, and Manair. Now, a good way to remember this can be with a photo and with this phrase PM Pips Manmohan. PIPS Pips means when you defeat someone or when you go ahead of someone. So, if you defeat someone in a race, that means you pipped the other person. So, PM Pips Manmohan. P stands for Purna, M stands for Manjira, PIPS stands for Pranhita, Indravati, Pravara, Sabri, and then M for Manmohan here would stand for Manair. So let's just try and remember one by one, starting with the Kaveri River and then jumping on to the Godavari River. We don't want to overload you with all this information. Let's try and go one by one gradually. Now, the next important topic which a lot of you mentioned in the comment section was that you want to know how to better remember the Ramsar sites in India. Now, do understand this. After the last edition that we had in February 2022, India now has about 49 Ramsar sites. Now, it is not possible to remember all these 49 effectively. So again, just like the approach that we took for the tributaries of important rivers, for Ramsar sites also, we are not going to be discussing all of them. We are doing this state by state. So today we will be discussing the Ramsar sites in some states of India. Now again, as I said in the last episode, you can make a choice. Either you want to remember all the 49 Ramsar sites, or you can say I will not remember any of them, or you can take the middle path as Gautam Buddha said, Try and remember some of them, and let's hope that those are the ones that get asked by the UPSC in the prelims examination. So first we are talking about the Ramsar sites in the state of UP, because Uttar Pradesh has the most Ramsar sites in India. Now, the good way to remember this can be a person called Haider Nawab, who has an S5 phone and likes going to the pub. So Haider Nawab, because the name itself is Nawab, so he has a good Samsung S5 phone and he likes going to the pub. How does it help you to remember the Ramsar sites in UP? Haider here stands for the Haidarpur wetland. Nawab here stands for the Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary. S5 means there are 5 Ramsar sites in the state of UP that start with the letter S. That is why we have mentioned S5. These include Saman Bird Sanctuary, Samaspur Bird Sanctuary, Sandhi Bird Sanctuary, Sarsai Nahar Jheel, and the Sur Sarovar. These are the 5 Ramsar sites which start with the letter S and R in UP. Then we have PUB Pub. P stands for Parvati Agra Bird Sanctuary. Then the letter U here stands for Upper Ganga River, and the last letter B here stands for Bakhira Wildlife Sanctuary. So again, Haider Nawab, a person who has a Samsung S5 phone and likes going to the pub. This is how you can remember the Ramsar sites that are in the state of Uttar Pradesh, UP. So we have covered one state, and let's first try and fix that in our memory and then jump on to the next state. The next state and its Ramsar sites that we will discuss is Punjab. Now, Punjab also has quite a few Ramsar sites which include the Harike Lake, the Kanjli, Ropar Wetland, etc. For this, remember this phrase: big roads never kill honest kids. If you're a parent, maybe this is a good phrase to tell to your kids. If you're honest, the big roads will never kill you. So, big roads never kill honest kids. How? The letter B here stands for Bears Conservation Reserve. The letter R stands for the Ropar Wetland. Then we have N for Never, which stands for Nangal Wildlife Sanctuary. The letter K stands for Kanjli. H for Honest stands for H for Harike Lake. And K here stands for Keshapur Miani Community Reserve. Simple, isn't it? So we have already covered the Ramsar sites in UP. That is done. That was Haider Nawab, has an S5 phone and likes going to the pub. Then we covered the Ramsar sites in Punjab with a phrase that is, big roads never kill honest kids. Now let's go to some other states which only have a few Ramsar sites. Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir has only 3 Ramsar sites right now. That is Hokera Wetland. Then we have Surinsar Mansar Lakes and we have the Buller Lake. Very easy to remember. Just remember the letters SHOW. S-H, ignore the O, and W. S-H-O-W. Show the Ramsar sites, right? S for Surinsar Mansar Lakes, H for Hokera Wetland, and W for the Buller Lake. As easy as they come. So we have already covered 3. UP, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, 3 done. Let's go to the south of India and cover the Ramsar sites of Kerala now. Kerala again has only 3 Ramsar sites. That is the Ashtmudi Wetland, the Shashtham Kota Lake, and the Vembanath Coal Wetland. Just remember the word save or save the Ramsar sites. S-A-V. Save the Ramsar sites, right? S for Shashtham Kota Lake, A for Ashtmudi Wetland, and V stands for Vembanath Coal Wetland. Very easy, right? Save them. For Kashmir, it was show. Ignore the O. S-H-W. For Kerala, it was save. S-A-V. So we have already covered 4 states for Ramsar sites, right? We covered UP, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, and Kerala. Let's cover one more, that is Haryana. Now Haryana only has 2 Ramsar sites, that is Sultanpur National Park and Bhindawaz Wildlife Sanctuary. Just remember, Sultan loves bhindi. I tried hard searching for a photo of Salman Khan eating bhindi or lady finger as you call it, but I could not find that photo online. If you do find that photo, please use that to memorize. If I would have found that photo, I would have actually used it here so that you could visually remember this. So just remember, Sultan likes bhindi. Sultan is Sultanpur National Park, and then we have the Bhindawaz Wildlife Sanctuary. So we have covered Ramsar sites of UP, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, Kerala, and even Haryana. Let's go with one more state. Again, Feel free to choose the mnemonics that you want to remember. Please don't be under pressure that I want to remember all of them or I don't want to remember any of them. Make an attempt, make an effort. Let's see how many can you remember within a first few readings. Let's see how many can you remember with just first few readings. Then come the Ramsar sites in the state of Gujarat. In the state of Gujarat, we have the Khijadia Wildlife Sanctuary, the Thol Lake Wildlife Sanctuary, the Vadhwana Wetland, and the Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary. What do you have to remember? Just remember the phrase, where is the khilona? For those who don't speak Hindi, the word khilona means toy. Where is the khilona? W for where's. W here stands for Vadhwana Wetland. T here stands for the Thol Lake Wildlife Sanctuary, and khilona, where K stands for Khijadia Wildlife Sanctuary and N stands for Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary. I also have a photo of Gujarat doll here so that it is easy for you to remember this phrase. Where's the khilona? Will tell you the 4 Ramsar sites in the state of Gujarat. This is the most updated information. As I said, in February 2022, there were 2 Ramsar sites additionally designated in India. So we are considering all those additions as per the Feb 2022 updation. Now, a few other things. Let's go away from the Ramsar sites. We have had enough for one lecture. Let's try and remember the coastal states in India with a decreasing order of their coastline. So the state of India that has the longest coastline, then the second longest, third longest, and then we'll go ahead and reach the state with the shortest coastline in the country. So the order is Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Kerala, Odisha, Karnataka, Goa, which includes a bit of Daman and Diu, and then West Bengal. If you already remember this information, great. If you don't remember this information, let's go ahead and remember this. Gate maker, someone who makes a gate, is okay, go west. So basically you wanted to go to western countries, you invited a gate maker at your place, made sure that your gate is locked, well made, and then you went west. Or any other story that is easy for you to remember. Gate maker, okay, go west. Now GAT is Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, followed by Maharashtra, Kerala, Odisha, Karnataka, Goa, and West Bengal. Now over here, there are 2 things that you can do. First, you can take the safer approach. The safer approach is that I will remember all these states in the correct order no matter what. Even if I have to invent some other mnemonic, I will do that. The second approach that people have is I will only remember the top 4 or top 5. That is also what many people do. They believe that, okay, even if the UPSC will ask me the order of the top 4 or top 5 states, I will be able to arrange them. But the problem in the second approach is, what if UPSC gives you the options of Karnataka, Maharashtra, Kerala, and West Bengal? If they don't give you options from the top 5 states, then what would you do? So this is an approach that you can take. Either go with remembering all of these or go with remembering only top 4 or 5, whichever you find easier and whichever you find that is sustainable for you to remember till the prelims examination. But either way, do remember the states with the decreasing order of their coastline. The last one for this episode is most abundant elements in the Earth's crust. Again, the most abundant elements, so we are going in a decreasing order. Oxygen present in biggest quantity, then we have silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, and soda. Remember a very simple phrase for this, that is, only silly and idiots consume soda. Soda, which is in US, also the name that is given to cold drinks. So only silly and idiots consume soda. Don't take it to heart. I myself do have a lot of cold drinks. So remember this phrase. O stands for oxygen, S stands for silicon, A stands for aluminium, I stands for iron, C for calcium, and S for sodium. That is how you can remember the most abundant elements in the Earth's crust. Oxygen, then we have silicon, we have aluminium, we have iron, we have calcium, and we have sodium. Do remember this. There is a photo that I am giving you here which talks about the top 10 elements of the Earth's crust. If you want to go ahead and you want to be extremely certain and you want to play very safe and you remember all the 10 elements, go ahead with that. That is entirely your choice, but I am giving you the option to remember the top 6 at least. As I said, first oxygen and silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, sodium, which is followed by magnesium. Then we have phosphorus, then we have titanium, and after titanium, the last one in the top 10 is hydrogen. So these are the top 10 elements in the Earth's crust. This is it for episode number 5. I hope it was very useful for all of you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Friday.